Hello. I usually do serious videos on my channel on either science or philosophy or politics, but today I'm going to do a fun video, and it's going to be on the novel series I've been writing. I've gotten 2 books done in the series, and I got 3 more books left to go, and it's about a technologically regressed society very far in the future. It's sort of a science fiction fantasy hybrid, and it's a medieval society, but the twist is that it's not actually on Earth. The idea is that at some point in the future we have Star Trek, and one of these ships crashes in this distant solar system, and as a result, the ship gets buried. The crew's descendants are still there, and then thousands of years later they completely forget what they came from, except that it's like a big legend. Anyway, that's not really the point of this video, though. The point of this video is a cool concept I have in the book that I'd like to share with you guys. And I have this elder race in there that they're long extinct, but they actually created the entire solar system, and they did it with this peculiar piece of technology which can manipulate reality as quantum information. And so now the idea here is, we have the holographic principle. I tried to put hard science into this as much as possible, even though it's got a distinctive fantasy component to it, although we'll get into that in a second here. But anyway, the idea is you have the holographic principle, and this is in quantum gravity. The ultimate level of the universe, or reality, is a little bit beneath the level of physical units. Space, time, and energy are really just emergent constructs from non-local quantum information, and, well, this elder race is so far advanced they are actually able to manipulate this quantum information at the Planck scale. And so the result is they have this topologically ordered quantum field. That means it's quantum entanglement everywhere. Everything's entangled to everything else. And they can basically hack the reality there and reprogram it like a computer system. And so, of course, the idea here is that you can then have cheat codes built into it, and in this case, most of the remains of the civilization is gone, except that the quantum field they set up is still there. It has an emitter, basically, and it generates this. And basically what happens is you can access it with your mind via the quantum Zeno effect. And so let's say that someone's able to do this. This only is if you have a strong enough mind to do this. And so say you're in the Middle Ages and someone does this, and they can walk into a room somewhere, and because there's no actual interface per se, like a keyboard, you just say the cheat codes out loud, and then it helps you focus on them in such a way that it triggers the effect in the quantum field, and then all of a sudden it activates the cheat code, and some strange effect happens, or you get powers or something to that effect. And if you're in a completely medieval setting, what does this look like? It looks like a magician using magical incantations, right? So this looks exactly like magic, and this is how I introduce the concept of magic into the book. And then I kind of expand on this a little bit by having this Hilbert space dimension, which is where wave functions exist, it's really just a mathematical thing in physics, but I figure I'll kind of play with it a bit and turn it on its head and say that the physical world is also really just abstract, and so the Hilbert space is also a little more real than we might think it is. And then I had the elder race upload AIs into there, and they act as sort of Roman pantheon type gods and spirits and all the other fun stuff, just to kind of fill out the mythology of the book a bit. And now I'm going to turn this on its head for a little bit and give you guys a little bit of a thought experiment, which is really going to mess your head up a bit. So let's say that, hypothetically, we actually live in a real fantasy world, right? Let's say it's, I don't know, Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings, and say Gandalf or Harry Potter uses a magic spell. And in this world, this is a pure fantasy world, so we can't do science in it, obviously, but we can still do philosophy. So let's use philosophy and try and investigate this thing we call magic. So now we look at a magic spell and we say, well, it's words, which is information of some sort, and this information is somehow manipulating reality. So it's actually sort of more real than it looks. It's not. It's like abstract information, but the abstraction is a little more real than it appears to be. Just kind of puts things on its head to begin with. But now we're trying to do, say, ontology in this, and we realize that all the world has to be made of one substance, because substance dualism leads to contradictions when you have interactionism. So just instead of a matter-mind dualism causing contradictions, we have a matter-information dualism. And so the only way to really get around this is we think of, well, the world's made of information as well, and that's the only way I can interact with the magic spell, which is made of information. And then somehow the magic spell, which is informational, changes the real world as well. And then that is what we call proper magic, like actual, quote, real, unquote, fantasy magic. So now, the question is in my book, I have quantum information affecting reality, and reality is itself made of quantum information, and you can just reprogram the qubits and use a cheat code to do that, and you have what appears to be magic. So now, this is Arthur C. Clarke's law of any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. And I tried to push it to its limits and take it a little more seriously than normal. But the question is, in both of these cases, it would appear that the, quote, real magic is just information changing reality, which is also information. And in my novel series, I have, this is obviously technologically facilitated, but the process itself is simply information changing reality as information. And so even though it's kind of helped along by a technology, the process itself is indistinguishable from the proper magic in the fantasy book. So now the question I have is, what is this? Is this science or magic, or is it a false dichotomy? Is it somehow both? And I think this is probably going to mess some people's heads up. So tell me what you think. What are those three options? Science, magic, or a false dichotomy? Put those in the comments section. Well, and actually, quick addendum here. I have my book up on autonomy.com. I'll provide the link with that, and then you can just subscribe real fast, and I have some uploaded chapters you can read, and then if you like it, go put it on your bookshelf. You'll see what I mean when you get in there in autonomy, and then put some comments down. So, well, see you guys later. Have fun.